One, NBA, poker, gambling, prop bets. LeBron James? What is the hardest sport to meddle with when it comes to gambling? 2, college football picks of the week. The best games this weekend, all littered across your Saturday. 3, you're looking at a freak of nature. You're looking at the next evolution of a human being. If you haven't seen it yet, you're missing out. If you haven't seen Wemby. It is Will Cain Country. Normally leave it streaming live every Monday through Thursday at 12 o'clock Eastern Time at the Will Cain Country YouTube channel, but always available by following on Spotify and on Apple, as is this edition of Cain on Sports. It's just me and the boys. 2-a-days Dan, Tinfoil Pat, Ed, back in the studio. Let's get into it. Let's get into sports. Let's get into the sports story of the year. Story number 1. The FBI has lodged allegations and charges against several NBA players, including Damon Jones and head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, Chauncey Billups, in 2 separate schemes to defraud bettors out of tens of millions. It's a poker game that was rigged with x-ray tables, cameras in chip trays, glasses that saw through the backside of a card, all hitting marks that simply wanted to play poker with Chauncey Billups, and prop bets inside the NBA. Not just Damon Jones, but who might score or what might be scored by, for example, LeBron James. The allegation is that Damon Jones, with inside information about when LeBron would play, how many minutes would be played by LeBron, was manipulating prop bets inside the NBA. Let's bring in Tinfoil Pat and 2-a-days Dan to talk about this story and ask, what's the hardest sport to manipulate in gambling? Boys, yesterday I interviewed Christopher Rea, the FBI agent in charge of this investigation. I thought there was 2 main questions to ask. How did this investigation hit their radar? And where will it go from here? Are there more NBA players? Is this just the tip of the iceberg? He neglected to answer both of those questions. But I think the answer to the first has something to do with Jontay Porter. Because about a year ago, you'll remember, Jontay Porter was suspended for life from the NBA for gambling, for doing something very similar to what we're hearing now about Damon Jones. Shaving points, checking out of games early, manipulating prop bets. Jontay Porter is mentioned now in this investigation, Operation Nothing But Net. I asked Rea, was Jontay Porter your asset? Did he cooperate? Was he the guy that flipped on other NBA players? That's interesting from a soap opera development, but it's also interesting in that what happens next with Damon Jones? There is a sense this is a tip of the iceberg. There is a sense there's more. Look, gambling culture has always been part of sports, and I think it's been acutely part of the NBA. I used to hear stories about Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley's card games. Those aren't illegal, but the point is gambling's popular. It's popular in the NFL as well. You'll hear about domino games and poker games, but I do think it's a bit of a part of the culture in the NBA. And I would be very surprised if this is the end of the story for the league. Does Damon Jones flip? What more does he share? What other stars? And how does it make any sense when you make, in Damon Jones' case, $26 million a year and you risk that? I'm sorry, that's actually Terry Rozier, an active player in the NBA who's actually part of this as well, making $26 million a year and you risk that for what? What was he getting? What kind of prop bets was he manipulating? Even if, as Director Kash Patel of the FBI said, this amounted to, in aggregate, tens of millions of dollars, that's not enough. Terry Rozier, after taxes, is bringing home easily $14, $15 million a year. What do you need? An extra couple $100,000, even an extra $1 million. Where's the risk reward on that? Man, this scandal has got him talking. We played the sound for you earlier this week of Stephen A. Smith saying this is Donald Trump. He's coming. No, this started under Joe Biden, and this is the law. You know what's coming? The law. And Charles Barkley on ESPN's halftime program, I thought he was really smart on it. I thought he was really good. I thought he was to the point, as he always is. Kenny Smith tried to explain some of this away through gambling addiction, or at least soften the blow in an indictment of some of these players with gambling addiction. And I'm with Charles Barkley. Bull. Barkley said it's stupidity. I think they're both bouncing around something else. It's immorality. And that's the truth of it. Yeah, of course it's stupid. And maybe there's gambling addiction involved. But the thing that stops everyone from doing something incredibly stupid at some point is some perhaps never existent but very possible loss of morality. Like once you're compromising the very thing that brought you to this point in life, and you know inherently, you're certainly taught that it's wrong. I know the NBA brings these players in and says this is what you can do and this is what you can't do. Man, sometimes we just got to call it the way it is. And you may like these players, but they've lost their sense of morality. What I mean by that is, I believe it was Teddy Roosevelt who said something like, above all, hold on to your morals. That he'd rather have a moral man that was stupid than a smart man that was unscrupulous. Two-a-days, Dan, tinfoil Pat. Ed as well, all here with us. Okay, so the debate has erupted in the text chain. What's the hardest sport to manipulate? Tinfoil Pat, of course, with his conspiracies. And his inexplicable hatred at this point of the Kansas City Chiefs, wants to believe it's the NFL. And I'm with you, Dan, in the text chain. I think if you're ranking sports where gambling is compromising the integrity of the game, lowest and last is the NFL. It's
Agreed.
too hard, man.
Yeah.
Every play matters too much. The first thing, you need two elements. You need the individual's ability to actually accomplish manipulating the bet, which puts boxing and M&A straight in the spotlight. And you need, I think what makes it most easy is you need worthless plays. And basketball's chock full of worthless plays. 82 games, over 100 points scored. It's just easy to say, tonight I'm doing X, and have it not really impact the outcome of the season. And so I think that brings us to the next sport. I think basketball, outside of boxing, which has a history of this, I think the next sport after basketball is probably baseball. I think baseball has the right synthesis of the individual. It's an individual sport masquerading as a team sport. Yeah. So you could strike out. You could throw a meatball over the plate if you're a pitcher. And with 162 games, there's just too many opportunities to go, this game, hell with it. I'm going 0 for 4. And manipulate some prop bet within the game. NFL, man, it just doesn't have those worthless drives, those worthless plays. And if you did something, I also don't think you're involved in the game enough. The only player involved in the game enough is the quarterback. A receiver just isn't involved in the game enough to go, what is my over-under? 6 catches for this game. I'm going to drop this one. No one's going to notice. It's not going to impact this drive. I just don't think the recipe – I'm not saying it never happens in the NFL, but the recipe isn't there for the NFL. What do you say, two-a-days?
Well, what about faking an injury? I mean, the NFL is the hardest one, but you could go down, impact a game if you're a running back, wide receiver, an impact player. That could happen, but you're right. NFL is the hardest, like we were saying.
We literally just
But I think that the player – real quick, tinfoil. I think that the player, I am maybe naively retaining the belief that even, Terry Rozier, right? He actually doesn't want the season to tank. He doesn't want to compromise his team's ability to win over the long term. I think he's doing something like what we're talking about here, which is I can do this. So even a player, and it's probably not even fair for me to use somebody's name hypothetically, but let's do it historically, okay? That way it doesn't indict anybody. Bob Hayes, wide receiver from what, the 1960s for the Dallas Cowboys. Say there was prop betting at the time, right? Bullet Bob Hayes. Let's say his prop betting over-under was 6 catches for 90 yards, right? I just think if Bob pulls up injured and goes, I'm gonna allow somebody to hit the under on this because I'm going to drop out in the first quarter, I just think he's got more competitive spirit in that in what was then a 16, it might have even been a 12-game season back in the 60s, that he's not going to do that. I guess I just naively maybe still believe that they're trying to thread the needle between winning a little extra money and still remaining competitive. Go ahead, tinfoil.
So, two things real quick. So, with gambling addiction, okay, like Norm Macdonald lost his entire fortune 3 times. So like when you have gambling addiction, sometimes it is all you think about, and you might lose that competitive spirit, just because you're so obsessed with this. And two, just 2 weeks ago, the Arizona Cardinals running back dropped the ball right before the end zone. We've seen this so many times. We chalk it up to stupidity. It could very easily be something where
that's interesting. That's interesting.
He drops the ball.
I'm
not saying he did it, but it's very easy to do.
I know what you're talking about. That story was everywhere because Jonathan Gannon, the head coach of the Cardinals, ripped into him. Remember that? And he got in trouble. The coach got in trouble for ripping into him. You're talking about the play. I'm sorry. Let me do this in the style of tinfoil Pat. You're talking about the play. You're talking about the play which we see with some level of frequency where a guy has a breakaway touchdown and celebrates too early and drops that ball intentionally, like right as he's hitting the goal line. Man, I don't know.
Well, so
I guess I just see stupidity. I guess I see pure selfish celebration and stupidity.
Someone broke down a game of the Trailblazers with Chauncey Billups, and it was interesting because, they were like down 5, and he took their best player out with 3 minutes to go. And it looked like, if you look at those little things, it looks pretty innocuous at first, but if you really break it down, it's like, oh, man, it seems like he was actually trying to throw that game. So, I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, there's clips going around of Terry Rozier and the things that he was doing in a game. And now, have you guys seen? And this is going to get irresponsible the way that social media, in particular X and probably TikTok, do really quickly. Like there's a clip going around of Kevin Durant. Do you guys remember the clip of Kevin Durant standing? I believe he's at the free throw line, but he's not the one shooting the free throws. So he's lined up, for rebounds on a free throw. And in the background, there's a guy with a University of Texas shirt on.
Oh yeah.
And at the time, you're like, oh. That was like a Texas thing because KD went to Texas. And, like, the guy taps his hat. But the guy doesn't smile. He is making some weird movements, and Durant doesn't smile back. Durant kind of just nods at him, almost like, leave me alone. And people are passing that one around. Like, was that a signal, like, you need to? But, again, this is Kevin Durant. Like, this dude is making – what is Kevin Durant making at this point? $50, $60 million a year? And – one of the most competitive dudes in the history of the NBA, trying to win and successfully winning championships. I just have trouble. These clips are going around. There's some of LeBron now. There's clips of everybody going around that are suspect, right? And I think sports is going to be full of things where you could look at and say it's suspect. Like just looking at the game, I'm not sure it's actually evidence.
Well, think about Pete Rose.
Ed texts over to us. Pete Rose reportedly never bet on the games that he was participating in.
I know, but bet
as
on
a manager
games
or player.
So,
okay, that's
what does
different.
that look like?
Did he have insider information too?
Right.
Yeah. He's
right. Yeah, there's two levels: manipulating the game itself, and then just having inside information on another game.
Yep. Like this guy's going down.
You couldn't text people back then though and say, "Hey, are you going to sit out today?" So it would have been harder to. It'd have been on the phone all day long, just
carrier pigeons
making this happen. Yeah.
So, texted in by our boy Ed, he says hockey. Now, you guys were debating hockey yourselves in our group text.
Yep.
And we decided, I think you guys smartly decided, the only real player in hockey that could have a big impact on this would be the goalie. The goalie could say, I'm going to let one slide through. And theoretically, again, that's an 82-game schedule, and you could say, I'm up 4-0, 3-0. It's the third period, whatever the prop bet is within the game, I can let one slide through. And maybe that brings up, have you seen what many people are responding to this with? And I can't remember who it was that said this, but they said the thing that we really need to address is prop betting.
Yes.
And that validates what I'm talking about, that these guys are still competitors and they don't want to throw actual games, but the prop betting allows an individual within the game to have a little more control over an outcome of a prop bet. And it doesn't really compromise his competitive instinct too much. So I think that's actually legit. Like, should we look at – and by the way, we have sponsors. Everybody has sponsors in the world of media and sports now. They say that prop betting is the most profitable for all of the betting houses because it allows you to get into the parlays more easily, and parlays are where all the money is for the betting house. That's because your odds is the better or the worst at a parlay level now, and that's where they clean up. So I don't know that we're going to get rid of prop bets. Because remember, I think it was this week. We heard about it here on this Cain on Sports of Will Cain Country. We heard about it from NHL executives. And this week it was discussed openly. They need betting as a source of revenue. So I don't know, man. I don't know how you're ever going to reel this back.
Look at every sport.
But I still think the NFL and football is the least likely. And you do you disagree with that, Pat? You don't think if we're ranking them, what's coming in last is the NFL?
Probably, but I mean, like there are so many situations where, a team is favored by 6.5. They're driving down the field, they end up kicking a field goal.
But so many things have to happen in these scenarios that you're talking about.
So many different contributors.
So many different factors. Like, there's more red string hanging everywhere than other sports.
It's probably more difficult, but I'm just saying, I definitely think there are a lot of questionable things that happen.
You know that
Referees.
thing you say you hate nothing more than the thing that you love? Well, Pat loves football. He doesn't care about the NBA, so he has to turn his hatred to the thing that he loves, which is football. That's why he hates Florida State. That's why I don't know where he is right now on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let's talk about the NBA a little more because I want to tell you something. And consider this a PSA because I think there's a lot of people like Tinfoil Pat who certainly don't pay attention to the NBA in October. But I did this week, and I'm here to tell you the future has arrived. We are living with aliens. Story number 2. Victor Wembanyama is an alien. He is legitimately unstoppable, fellas. Now, I don't expect that you would have tuned in for Game 1 of the NBA, Mavericks versus San Antonio Spurs. I would not expected you to do that. I did, of course. I want to see the debut of Cooper Flagg. I want to see this all-defensive Dallas Mavericks with tall guys at, everywhere but guard. And I'm excited, and it was a real big letdown. It did not look good for the Mavs. However, you watch that game, and I was texting with some of my buddies about this, you are witnessing something that literally I don't think anybody listening I don't think maybe nobody alive. There's some people out there that might have been alive for the only comp we can come up with on this, but that is totally unique in your lifetime. 7'6", athletic, can shoot. I'm talking about shoot like Luka, like step back threes, KD step back threes. Has a handle. He's dribbling it between his legs. Like, he's doing that to break down his defender. He's back there at the arc, bringing the ball between his legs back and forth, doing the things that you see from guards to break down his defender and then driving to the basket. And, fellas, it takes him 1.5 steps to get to the basket.
I know. It's crazy.
My man is dunking from the free throw line. And it's not like, remember when Jordan did it and it's at the dunk contest and you're like, he can fly. That's not what it looks like. It looks like he's dunking from underneath the basket. It doesn't look hard for him. It doesn't look like he did something superhuman. It looks like the court's too small for him. And then he's doing things again like, you're used to seeing a big man, right? 7'6", and the way they dunk. They go straight up and they come straight down, right? Boom, boom. He did a dunk where he looked like Dominique Wilkins. He went from one side of the basket coming, across the court, not down the court. So along the baseline. He launches on one side of the basket, and I don't know how he does this when he's 7'6", because he's going to hit the rim with his head. He goes under the basket, and he dunks on the backhanded on the opposite side of the basket. And you've seen that. You've seen that play, but you've seen it by 6'4" guys, and you're like, man, look at how athletic he is. Now you're seeing it from a guy, and he has to calculate in his head how not to hit his head on the rim. So he's like, I don't want to jump that high. It is wild, man. It's wild to see there's literally nothing he can't do on the basketball court, and he's doing it all at 7'6". And the one thing I'll say is, and I think I said this earlier this week when we brought this up, this caveat of, well, as long as he stays healthy. Because you always worry about that with a big man, right? And you most notably worry about their lower limb structure, like their feet.
If he puts on weight, yeah.
he's different. No, but he's different, Dan. Like, because he's so athletic, like he takes falls. And sometimes when there's big men that take falls, you're like, ugh, how's that go? He doesn't. He looks like a guard. Like, he falls gracefully. He falls the right way. His body just bounces. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. Like, it's pay money to go see it. And, Pat, I know you don't like the NBA. It's like pay money to go see this. This is not something you've ever seen before. Giannis might be the closest. Giannis ended up putting on muscle and all that, but Giannis could never shoot like this. He could, and he still can't. This guy has range all over the court. Here's the only comp, and then I want you guys to jump in. And I heard them talking about this on local radio. And it's not a comp in terms of style of play. It's a comp for how this could go. The comp, because I mentioned our lifetimes. There may be somebody old enough out there listening. Shout out if you're a big fan of podcasts in Will King country. It's Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt was scoring 100 a game.
Allegedly.
And there's just nothing they could do because they just didn't have people that tall outside of Wilt back then. And he didn't have to shoot. He didn't have to do all the other stuff that Wemby does. They could just feed the ball to Wilt, and, like, what are you going to do for the other team? Nothing. Like, there's nothing you can do about. And I don't want to say this in any kind of derogatory way. I'm saying this complimentary. What are you going to do about that freak of nature? Because that's a freak of nature. And that sounds negative, like circus. No, I mean, like, one of one. And Wemby scored 40 points against the Mavs in 29 minutes. He didn't even play the third quarter. 40 points. I don't remember how many rebounds and assists and everything else that he did. I think his shooting percentage was like 60 or 70%. And it can't stay that way every game. Again, they said this on the radio. If he's 75% of what I saw that night throughout the season, I mean, it's not even close, guys. It's MVP. Stop the talk. Steph was great in game one. Steph Curry was incredible this week again. Doesn't matter. LeBron, doesn't matter. Luka, doesn't matter. There's nothing like this guy. And get ready for San Antonio to rack up. I don't know that it'll be this year. Get ready for them to rack up championships again, dynasties again. They've also got a great roster. It's not just him is the wild thing. De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, the second pick in the draft. I mean, it's goodnight Irene, man, with Wemby and the Spurs. Go ahead, Dan.
I've been waiting for this to happen. I mean, we've seen different types of players like LeBron coming in, his strength, his power, his height, all that kind of thing. This is the next thing to happen. These tall, athletic guys. Kevin Durant was kind of getting there in that way, where he was freakishly played like a guard at his height.
That's
and
right.
now
because Kevin Durant, I think he's 7 foot.
I think
KD is 7 foot.
They
right?
list him at it, but he's probably like 6'11". But Wemby's just the next thing. This is what's happening. I don't know if there will be another like him, but we're seeing this athleticism from these huge guys, these tall guys, and shooting. The ball is probably like a grapefruit in his hand. Do you know how hard that is to shoot like that? That's why Shaq had such a problem with free throws, because the ball is so small.
Right. Everyone knows. Everyone can identify because we've all done the Nerf ball thing.
Yeah, exactly.
With the
it's so much harder.
Office. Shooting that little Nerf ball is hard, man.
Yeah, it must be crazy. So that's more impressive. And not even that. On the defensive side, I mean, just how tall he is and his wingspan probably knocks down.
Man.
Like, you're not scoring. How do you score in the paint against that?
Oh, Cooper Flagg was really bad in his first game. So what? His first game. But Cooper Flagg's a great basketball player, right?
Yeah.
I watched Cooper Flagg do an amazing move, break down his dude, drive to the basket, easy layup, right? Nope.
He's still there.
Because Wemby's standing there, and Flagg didn't even try. He's like, I got to pass it out. He just reset the offense. It's crazy. Flagg was at a spot where you're like, yay, score the easy two, and he's like, eject.
You can't pump fake. You can't pump fake him because he's going to still be there. There's no pump faking Wemby.
That's right. Oh, and you should see what he does to, like, when he's pump faking, by the way, when it's reverse. Yeah. It's like Anthony Davis didn't know what to do. Like, he's getting fouls, too. Oh, yeah. So he had a 4-point play on a three against Anthony Davis.
He's going to get every big man to foul out.
So the evolution. And he just about did.
Yeah.
Derek Lively, Anthony Davis, they had like 3 fouls each in the first quarter.
They're gone in the third.
It was horrible. But I love what you're talking about with evolution. So I'm talking about him being like an alien, and he is. But I do think we're headed there. Yeah. It's not going to be he's number 1 and number 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 hit us in the next 5 years. I don't think it's going to be like that, because I still think that he's a freak of nature. But you're going to get more freaks of nature, right? You're going to get more athletic, 7-foot-something guys, positionless basketball. Like,
because coaches
I don't even know.
Coaches are teaching them different things.
Is the future of basketball that there's no positions and everybody on the court is 7 foot? Like, I don't know.
Threes. Like, I mean,
I don't know.
It's become the game of just jacking up threes all the time. So, I mean, it just makes sense that 7-footers have to do it too.
Well, I mean, wouldn't they be able to adjust eventually? I mean, like, just like football, we have had the athletic quarterback, dual threat kind of guy. It kind of makes the defenses more accountable. But like, we've actually seen a decrease in quarterback play. Like, quarterbacks just aren't as good today, in my mind, because they depend too much on their athleticism. And defenses actually adjust, and they learn how to deal with that.
Well, football adjusted because what you did is you started getting the smaller, faster linebackers, right, to chase around the Lamar Jackson types. And then you adjust back, and then you got a Derrick Henry type running back, and, oh, my God, now these small linebackers can't deal with the running game. And I actually think this is really cool about football this year, that, 4 or 5 years ago, we were talking about the death of the running game, and running backs are a commodity.
Yep.
And football is such a pendulum. That's what makes it fun, like on the adjustment side. We're actually moving back to where running backs are important now. I don't know. That doesn't mean they're going to get paid, but all of a sudden in the last year and a half in the NFL, like, running the ball has become a huge emphasis back into the game.
The tight end is done too.
But I don't know how you adjust, Patrick, to 7'6" athletic. Like, what's the adjustment besides find your own dude?
I mean, I guess, you maybe defend it better. Like, you defend it differently. You figure out a way to get more big men on the outside.
How?
I don't know. Like,
genetic modification.
Yeah. You actually would have said the Mavericks are well suited to try to defend Wemby. They've got Derek Lively, who's 7 foot, really athletic. They've got Anthony Davis, 7 foot, really athletic, right? I think Daniel Gafford was hurt. So they had numbers. They had athletic in the regular athletic 7-footer world, not the Wemby athletic world. And they got nothing for him, man. They got nothing. I don't know what. I mean, I'm not even close to somebody that could ever say they could be an NBA coach. Like, okay, here's my first thought: rough him up. Like, start roughing him up on the outside.
That's his weakness.
If he gets the ball,
his size.
Yeah, that he's skinny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so rough him up, but he's getting fouls called when you do that, a ton. So I don't know.
Will he keep though? I mean, I think that'll get old for the refs.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm telling you, it's worth the price of admission. Go see this alien. Let's talk about college football. Story number 3. All right, we got new helmets on the desk this week. It's been a big week for a collection of helmets here at Will Cain Country. The Horned Frogs, the Mustangs have made appearances on the table. The Canes earlier this week, and as of yesterday, we got the Aggies from Texas A&M. Big talk about the Fighting Irish and the Bulldogs making an appearance here on the table. But we do have a couple of games. Let's do 3, guys. Let's do 3. 2-a-days. Dan, I think you prepped this, so why don't you take us through really quickly some of the biggest games this week in college football?
Yes, we got Texas A&M Aggies at LSU Tigers, 7:30 tomorrow. You got the Aggies at 7-0, LSU Tigers at 5-2. I mean, it's an SEC heavy weekend. Last week, Texas A&M escaped at Arkansas. It's 2 big teams. What do you think?
So everything inside me says Aggies. Aggies have what it takes. They've got a defense. They've got a mobile quarterback in Marcel Reed. They've got stud skill players, specifically at receiver. Guys like Kevin Concepcion. They're good. Everything in me says Aggies. There's 2 things that say be careful. Also, by the way, something else that says Aggies is if you look right now at coach potential firings, every list is starting to include Brian Kelly at LSU. So it makes you wonder about, like, the circling the drain effect at LSU. And I know they haven't been that bad, but they're just on that list. in part because it was just such a bad fit, if nothing else, stylistically. Like, Brian Kelly is just not Louisiana. But here's what's keeping me from going all Aggies. A, Death Valley. B, every time someone has had their back against the wall, I feel like this year in college football, they've come out with the necessary win. Texas had to win against Oklahoma, and then they did. Every time this has happened, I feel like the team that had to win, outside of the Florida State Seminoles, then they did it. So that this is a have to win for LSU. That being said, I think I'd still ride the momentum, and I would ride the Aggies.
Is it a big rivalry? These two teams?
I think it's a wannabe rivalry.
Is it?
It's a wannabe rivalry.
In what way?
Yeah. Like,
They've
the
been trying
Aggies
to?
definitely would love it. It's a I'm not saying it's non-existent. It's growing, but it's not. You said, is it a big rivalry? No. Because when A&M joined the SEC, they didn't have a natural rival.
Right.
LSU is the closest geographically to them. There is a little bit of cultural crossover there. East Texas and Louisiana have some cultural crossover. But it just doesn't have any history. So LSU, I'm pretty sure they think of Alabama as their rival. Mm-hmm. So, I think there's something bubbling between the two, but it's by no means yet a big rivalry. I think it should be. I think that would be a cool rivalry.
I like it.
A&M, LSU, they should invest in hating each other.
Wait,
Okay.
aren't they the ones that made the rule changes for overtime because of their game? 72-74? Remember that?
I don't know.
It was like 9
Kind of.
overtimes.
Just kept going and going.
Yeah.
Yeah. That may have been the inspiration for the new overtime.
It was definitely
Hey,
the
really
inspiration.
quickly, I was this morning, I went to Pure Americana. I went to a homecoming pep rally.
Wow.
And I've been to a few high school pep rallies since I was in high school. I went to one of my nephews out at Odessa Permian. I went to this one today for my son. And, man, it is pure Americana. It is awesome. Like, I sat there and watched this, and I was like, the European mind just doesn't understand.
Was there line dancing?
This right here, this must be preserved. No, there wasn't line dancing. But see, then I got to thinking about that, Dan. The European mind can't comprehend this, but did you do this in Connecticut? Surely you did, right? You had pep rallies before the games on Friday, right?
We
In
did. They
Connecticut?
weren't very big, though. I will tell you that. I mean, we're not a big football area, the Northeast, and football is what people really rally around.
Was Friday Night Football a thing? Like, did you guys go to your high school game?
We kind of. If you went to one, you'd be like, "This is the lamest thing I've ever seen," but it was big for our towns.
If I went to one,
If
you're
you
saying
went
I
from
would think it was
Texas,
lame?
you would think this is insanely lame.
I went to one in California when I was in college with some of my college buddies. I'd go back to their hometown with them, and I was like, this is kind of weird. Like, they're not into it. I can tell. But I think I have other friends in California, and it is big in certain places, and maybe it was just that town or that night. But I don't know. I just loved it. I loved it this morning. I was like, yeah, but even do you have hockey pep rallies?
Oh, heck yeah, dude. It is
You
the
do?
wildest
Nice.
thing. Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, the Northeast is a big hockey haven.
Do you feel all
Do you
Americana?
guys do this in Florida? You have the pep rallies. You're Americana football Friday pep rally, high school football in Florida.
I want to say yes, but I was homeschooled, so I don't know.
He had his own separate kind of pep rally.
I was homeschooled.
Sorry for playing through the pain. All right, little sickness.
You're doing great. Should we move on to number 2?
All right. Yep. Second game.
All right, we got Ole Miss at Oklahoma. Ole Miss coming off a big loss from Georgia, their first loss of the season. They're 6-1. Oklahoma 6-1. 12 o'clock on Saturday. Do you think Ole Miss can bounce back?
Such a hard game. Such a hard game because the bounce back theory I just gave you. I want to do it. I want to take Ole Miss. And Ole Miss looked good, actually, in their loss to Georgia. And Oklahoma looked bad in their loss to Texas. But it's in Norman, and I don't know. Like, how does Ole Miss travel? I don't know.
It's also a massive red flag.
Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
For which one?
Lane Kiffin.
For Ole Miss?
For Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin is
you think
the talk.
You think he's 1 foot out the door? You think he's thinking about Florida?
No. I mean, like, in the past, there's been rumors that he's going to go, and I believe his agent is Jimmy Sexton, so he's going to leverage this talk of the coaching stuff, and it's going to be a big thing where, like, the kids are going to be distracted by it. Even if he stays, which I think he probably does stay because Ole Miss is in a pretty good position, it's still a massive distraction.
I thought about that too, Patrick. I was driving around thinking about, if I'm Lane Kiffin, do I leave Ole Miss for Florida? And any Florida fan is going to think that's sacrilegious to even entertain that you wouldn't, because they consider themselves, and they're not wrong, to put that in a top 10 job in America. That's just Florida State talk right there. But, I started thinking like, well, all right, you're Ole Miss, and first of all, I think Ole Miss has a really cool culture. It's a really cool town. It would probably be a pretty good life right there at Ole Miss, and you've already got them. Oh, like Lane Kiffin has them there. If Florida got to where Ole Miss is right now, that would be a huge leap forward for Florida, right? Now, they have higher expectations than that. You got to be beating Georgia. You got to be in the SEC championship game, all that stuff. But he's right there with Ole Miss, so why go restart at Florida? And I think the answer is it's money, right? Like, in the end, I don't think Ole Miss can pay what Florida can pay. Florida's athletic budget, their boosters. What's that?
They can pay. They can definitely, it's comparable. They have, Ole Miss has a good donor base.
I think if we looked up athletic facilities, NIL support, I know that he has had NIL support at Ole Miss.
Florida's facilities have traditionally been trash. They've not really invested in the football program. That's part of the problem. They're only now catching up. I mean, and they have not been good. I mean, they haven't even made the playoff the entire time it existed. So it's not like you're,
Well, then there's the history. The history is a draw for him. It's going to be the Spurrier, Urban Meyer history. I don't know. I don't know if he takes it. But here's where I will agree with you. The distraction. But I'm going to zig to my own zag. Yeah. I'm going to take Ole Miss against Oklahoma. Yeah, everything says it should be Oklahoma. I'm going to take Ole Miss. Go ahead, Dan. Game number 3.
All right, let's go with your Texas Longhorns. We'll finish it out here at Mississippi State. Texas being a bipolar team this year, you were down on them. What do you think going into Mississippi State?
Don't forget the last coach to beat Mississippi State got fired. So just be careful.
I mean, they could get knocked out of the top 25 with this game. Could be done.
I'm really thank you for taking the Texas-Mississippi State game as one of the big games of the week. That's very, very charitable.
Well, I did it for you.
To call them bipolar up and down is also very charitable of you as well. I'm not sure where the highs have been.
Oklahoma.
Half of one football against Oklahoma.
Yeah.
One half of one game.
Hey,
the second
one
half
half becomes a whole win.
And by the way, I think Vanderbilt versus Missouri is a hell of a game this week.
I have that on here,
that's not two marquee programs, but there's two 6-1 programs. I'm really nervous about Texas versus Mississippi State. Really nervous. Oh, yeah. What about, yes, Ed's a Longhorn fan. What gives you confidence? Did you watch the game against Kentucky? Horrific. Yeah, there's no however.
Pretty bad.
What however? What? Well, that's always a tough place to go, that empty dome or wherever they're playing up in Kentucky. I mean, Arch was awful. Awful. Like,
let's talk about
probably
Arch.
Should have been benched. What do you want to talk about, Arch?
What happens with him? Is he done? Is this ruining his legacy? Is he going to ever play in the NFL? Is he going to stay the starting quarterback at Texas? What do you think?
You got to give him time. The NFL thing, you got to give him time. I mean, I'm not ready to do that yet.
Okay.
The Texas thing, people were pointing out Quinn Ewers got benched. Like, Sarkisian benched Ewers because he was playing bad, right? And Sark said afterwards, I just think Quinn needed to reset his mind. Wasn't that against Georgia? It was against Georgia. He said, I just thought he wasn't seeing the field and he needed to sort of have a breather and reset. Man, that is not something he showed willingness to do with Arch. And that's pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know how to pick this game, Mike. If I tell you it's Texas, I am doing that out of heart. I really am. Like, I can't intellectually do it. Okay, come here. Ed is all in on Texas. Just give me your best argument. People can't hear you.
On the
Just
mic,
give me
please.
one reason. Give me one reason. I'm like a man in the desert. I just need a sip of water. What is the sip of water that says Texas over Mississippi State? And please don't say how bad Mississippi State is. It doesn't matter. Texas almost lost to Kentucky, who's the worst team in the SEC.
I agree. However, all right, this is the season. If we get knocked out, if this is our loss, we're
it's
done.
over. It's over.
So they're going to come with a different mentality. I think Arch needs to be benched.
Ooh, Matthew Caldwell against Mississippi State, backup quarterback. Okay, so Ed says it's do or die. This is it right here. And he's right. There's no playoffs if Texas loses to Mississippi State. All right, let's do it. I'm about to go whip Ed's ass in bumper pool, so I'm going to ride with him on the Longhorns over the Bulldogs. Okay, one more for you on this Sports Friday. Let's do it. Don't play the music. Story number 4. We can't get out of here without talking about the World Series.
We gotta. World
I thought
Series
we were going
coming
to.
up. I don't have a 4. I don't have a 4.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'll just
Dun,
do.
dun, dun, dun.
They don't say. Thank you. They don't have numbers, Dan. I know what I'm doing, and they don't go 1, dun, 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 2.
Yeah, no, they have.
And I all of a sudden
No.
took you to a place.
They do. They
It
have.
goes down, dun, down,
It has.
dun, dun, down.
So those are separate
I've
buttons.
never noticed.
Those are separate buttons.
I've never noticed.
Get out of here. You didn't.
Play
We've
the
been doing
3.
this for 3 years.
All right. Here's story number 1 button. Here's story number 2 button. Here's story number 3 button.
Do you know what this is
How
from?
about
The sound?
that?
It's from your theme song, just in case you didn't know
No.
that either. Yeah,
It's from what?
your theme song.
It's from the intro song.
The intro song.
It's a sample of the
So
guitar.
you didn't have one that went down, 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 down.
We've just never gone to 4. I mean, it's like turning your guitar amp up to 11.
Rocket. Well, Dodgers, Blue Jays, USA, Canada, World Series, first pitch
California,
tonight,
Canada.
Friday night. California versus Canada. Who do you root for? No, you root for USA.
Stupid libs.
But, no, here's the but. See, I'm going to give you a quiz, Ed. Somebody on the show doesn't like the idea that the Dodgers are on the verge of being a dynasty. Who doesn't like that idea? Who would be upset by that? That's right, Tinfoil Pat. Why? Because he hates great things. He hates great things.
He hates
He
greatness.
hates the Chiefs. He hates greatness. He
I'm
starts
sorry.
looking for conspiracies, bought off refs. I bet he didn't like the Patriots during their dynasty. And he had to reconcile
Hates Tom Brady.
to what
There's
really is bothering you here in the end, Patrick.
There's literally a dynasty in South Florida right now with the Stanley Cup, back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. So I'm all in
That's not
favor
the
of that
test.
one. Huh?
That's not the test. That's not the test. The test isn't whether or not you like your team being a dynasty, but whether or not you can look across the sports landscape as a neutral and appreciate a dynasty. And we know the answer with you. You hate dynasties, unless they're your dynasty, like with the Panthers.
Yeah, because I'm an American.
You start looking.
We hate
Why
dynasties.
does being an American require you to hate greatness?
We love underdog stories. It's ingrained in
We're
us.
a capitalist
Rudy,
nation.
the
What are you talking
Patriot,
about?
The Revolutionary War. Like, we love underdog stories. 100%. It's ingrained in us.
But we're
Star
the
Wars.
overdog now.
I think you can do both. I think you can like underdogs but appreciate greatness and celebrate dynasties.
Yeah.
You are the embodiment of that saying, America. They love to build you up, but they love to tear you down. You want to tear them down once they get to the top.
Yeah. Well, I don't want the Dodgers at the top at all. And
It's very lib of you
yeah,
to hate dynasties.
that's fine.
Did you?
It's the horseshoe.
Are you too young? This will hurt my feeling a little bit, but did you hate the Cowboys dynasty, or you were too little? You don't remember it?
Dude, I was such a front runner, by the way, on that.
Yeah, I didn't get into the NFL until '95.
You're the opposite of Pat.
Yeah, I love it. I want dynasties
You're
all the
a
time.
front runner.
For that, I definitely was.
Look at the teams you like:
Shut
the
up.
Yankees,
Shut up.
the Packers.
Shut up.
Who's your basketball team? Is it the Lakers?
Knicks.
Who is
so
it? The Warriors?
Knicks.
Yeah, but Ewing is probably during the
I'm a
Ewing
Rangers.
era.
I'm a Rangers hockey fan.
During the Messier era when they won a cup.
Yes.
Oh,
actually.
Notre
After 50
Dame.
years.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Yeah. I might as well be a Cowboy fan. Yankees, Notre Dame, and Cowboys all go together.
I think Packers is almost as good, like for solidifying your brand. Like for the front runner, how about the guy? I'm from Amsterdam. I love American football. Odds are he's going to be a Cowboys fan
Yep.
or a Packers fan, right? Is there even a third in the running?
Chiefs now.
Chiefs now, yeah.
Chiefs now. Yeah, maybe Chiefs now. Yeah.
Yeah, but when I started paying
okay,
attention to the
the
NFL,
Dodgers are on
the Cowboys stopped being good. So 95-ish. So that's the last Super Bowl, and then they haven't gone to a championship game since. So
So I laid out an argument.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
If you want it.
Crazy.
Yeah, go ahead. Go lay out your argument too.
All right. So if the Dodgers right now as a dynasty, here's the argument for 11 division titles in the last 13 years, averaging around 97 wins per year since 13. They have 5 trips to the World Series since 2017. 2 World Series titles, 2020 and 2024. So they are the model everyone's trying to copy right now. They are the gold standard. However, they do only have 2 championships in the last 12 years, likened to the 90s Braves. Do you agree with that, Patrick?
So you need one more. They need to win this one,
Exactly.
and then they're done.
And they
Then
bought
they're
him.
a dynasty.
I mean, do you say they bought him? Can you buy a dynasty? Does that count? Because
That's
they
what
have
Pat hates about them.
they have the highest payroll, so you're buying a dynasty. Does that count as a dynasty, or are you playing the system?
I don't hate them just because they have the highest payroll. I hate them because of the way they did it. Because Shohei Ohtani's contract is backloaded, and it's like they're already paying this massive luxury tax, but like they shouldn't be able to get away with the way they did his contract. I mean, that's absurd.
Ohtani's contract is super suspect, but they're not alone in that. Have you guys seen what happens to the Eagles in 2029?
No.
Like all this stuff they've spent, because they spend a ton of money. It comes home in 2029 apparently. Dead money, keep pushing dead money. But I mean, if in the meantime you're racking up championships, okay, so what?
Sure.
I imagine the Dodgers will figure it out.
If they win there, it's a dynasty this year.
It's
What'll
super
be-
good for baseball. It's super good for baseball for the Dodgers to be like this. It's not as good for baseball when the Texas Rangers are playing the Arizona Diamondbacks in the World Series. We all know it. As much as I loved it, we all know that's not as good for the game. Dodgers, Yankees, that would be the best, right? For baseball. If they need them both, like
last
competing
year.
to be the dynasty at the same time. They need them both at the top of their game, like over an extended period of time. It would vault baseball. That's what they need.
There's a political angle this year.
And
Canada versus U.S.
I'm guessing.
right now with Trump. You know, Canadians aren't a big
Oh.
fan. So it's becoming kind of an international issue right now, which makes it interesting.
But the Dodgers, I feel like the Dodgers are one of these LGBTQIA alphabet teams that they've done a lot of that stuff, right? Didn't they get in trouble, or a player wouldn't do it?
I think Kershaw
What was the deal?
wouldn't do it.
Some of their players
Kershaw
wouldn't
wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
or they had messages on their hats. Yeah.
They had
Things like
Bible.
that.
They put Bible verses on their hats during it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't know.
I don't want to do the political angle to it.
Sorry.
I like sports for what it is.
Listen to me.
I don't want to do it. I don't
Listen
want
to me
force
making
it.
it political.
I don't want to force it. I know. Bad Bunny, Super Bowl halftime.
Oh, gee, don't even start. Dude, I will go down that road with you if you want.
What, you want to have a political debate about Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, on another day, but yeah.
Can we get some songs in English? Can
There
we do
will
that?
be.
I mean,
There'll be a lot of
it is the official
collaborations.
language of America.
Wow.
So Bad Bunny's not going to speak English, but special guests will.
Yeah,
Can Bad Bunny speak English?
of course. He sings in
So
English.
why don't he?
He does. There's a
So
Cardi
then
B
Happy Gilmore
song.
too.
He sings in English. He raps in English. Are you telling people to
Ed's doing
assimilate well?
He's talking Latino over there. I'm not sure what he's doing right now. All right. No politics in sports. Let's just enjoy it like we have for the past 45 minutes here on this Cain on Sports edition of Will Cain Country. We appreciate you being with us. Check in with us on Monday, 12 o'clock Eastern Time at the Will Cain Country YouTube channel, or go back and get us at Spotify or Apple. We'll see you next time.